listen up everyone. It's going to be a busy week for the Jerusalem PD. Lots of people here for the Passover. Going to be crowded with all sorts of folk, so let's all remember our cultural sensitivity training, shall we? Anyway, assignments for today. Thaddeus Jr., I want you and Derek on crowd control. You know what it's like when Galileans, Judeans, Samaritans get together. Colin, we've had some reports of a missing colt. I want you to check that. A colt? It's a small male donkey. Which school did you go to? Anyway, it was tied up on the outskirts of town. Talk to the owner, see if you can find out what's going on. I mean, it's a donkey. Shouldn't be too hard to pin a tail on whoever took it. Alright, please yourself. Lastly, we've got reports of a potential troublemaker coming our way. Calls himself King of the Jews. Understandably, Emperor Tiberius is a bit upset at that. We reckon he'll be coming in from the east, so Stanley, Denzel, Wayne, I want you to form a welcoming committee at the Golden Gate. That's it. Dismissed. Alright, settle down, settle down, settle down. Now, I think it's fair to say that yesterday did not go according to plan. Not only were the crowds bigger than expected, but now we're left with a massive clean-up operation. Neville, I want you and Roger on clean-up duty. Stop complaining, it's not as if there's animal droppings all over the place. Colin tells me that forensics have bagged all that up for their missing donkey case. Anyway, we've got several witnesses saying that the crowds were shouting Hosanna when this fella rode in on his colt. So the governor's asked that we find out who this woman Anna is, and why the crowd want to hose Anna. I mean, it's not as if we've got the spare water available to do that anyway, so we need to get on top of that. Alright, dismissed. Okay, let's get things started. First off, we've heard about some weird goings-on last night in the upstairs room of one of our taverns. Where was it? The Kosher Arms. Something about bodies being broken and blood being spilt. There's also something about a new covenant, whatever that means. When we got there, we could only find the remnants of a simple meal, you know, breadcrumbs all over the table, wine spillages. They obviously had no table manners whatsoever. Anyway, keep your ears and eyes open. The last thing we want in Jerusalem at Passover is blood to be spilt. Next up, we've discovered the identity of our mystery guest. Calls himself Jesus Christ. Originally a carpenter's son from Nazareth. Some say he now claims a different profession, hard to pin down exactly what. The governor's view is that he's a drifter, possibly a political dissident here to stir up some trouble, so we need to keep him and his followers under control. To that end, we have some good news. A potential informant working inside the inner circle of this Jesus fella. The governor has released some money from the budget. I think it's, about 30 pieces of silver, apparently. So this guy's information had better be worth it. That's it. Dismissed. Okay, listen up, people, listen up. Right, I know it's been a long night, but the governor has asked me to brief you all on the incidents of last night, which I think it's fair to say did not go too well. Thanks to our informants, we had Jason and Mervyn follow this Jesus bloke into a garden on the Mount of Olives. He and his followers were just praying, although he wandered off a few times and they fell asleep. I know, very odd. However, orders then came through from the governor that this Christ bloke was to be arrested. So once backup had arrived, we approached the group. Positive identification was provided by our informant by means of a kiss. But when our officers stepped forward to arrest the suspect, one of his followers lashed out with a bladed weapon and sliced off the right ear of Malchus, a servant of the high priest. Now, we'll be sending Malchus a bunch of flowers, but I want no jokes in the get well card about ear. The governor is most disappointed, and he said that he's never known a Passover with as much trouble and violence as this one, and he wants us to keep a lid on it. Dismissed. Right, I know you're all anxious to get home, so we'll make this quick. A message direct from the prefect, no less than Pontius Pilatius himself. For your work this week, he says the following. Just a quick note to say well done on your efforts to apprehend this individual and stop a potentially disastrous uprising. We have the criminal in custody to stand trial before the Sanhedrin, and it's all thanks to your efforts. As a gesture of appreciation, take the day off tomorrow, as I'm sure we'll have this all wrapped up by then. So there we have it. Recognition from the top. Yes, Malcolm. Well, yes, I agree that he didn't seem very dangerous, but it's not up to the likes of us to decide whether or not he was guilty of a crime or not. That's up to other people. Anyway, just enjoy the day off, and we'll see you later. Dismissed. All right, you lot. Enough grumbling. It wasn't my idea to cancel the day off and get everybody in. So let's get this started. Any complaints? Go and see Pontius Pilatius. I've heard he's gone to the King Herod School of Sympathy, so don't expect to get too much there. We've been informed that a few moments ago, following a meeting with the High Priest and then with the Sanhedrin, the suspect, Jesus Christ, admitted all the charges against him. Well, Norbert, they ranged from claiming to be the Son of God, being the King of the Jews, opposing taxation to Caesar, and tipping over a few tables outside a temple. Now, we've heard just now that he's to be carted off before Herod. Yes, he's in town. It's the first I'm hearing of it too. And, well, let's just say there's history between the two of them. And what... No, Edmund, that does not mean that we can expect a straight-up fist fight between the two. Anyway, we're fairly sure it'll mean a crucifixion, so we're going to need all the people we can get in. I've called on reinforcements from the Ephraim and Jericho police departments to support. Dismissed. All right, people. All right, let's keep it brief. I know some of you have been on duty since Monday, but we still have work to do, so let's get to it. Yesterday, we witnessed one of the most truly horrific events this police department has ever faced. And let's be honest, we've seen a few. The suspect, Jesus Christ, was executed at 3 p.m. standard Judean time by means of crucifixion. Now I know what some of you may be thinking, that we condemned an innocent man to death. The case against him was flimsy at best, shall we say. However, the Sanhedrin, Pontius Pilatus, and Herod all found him guilty. The crowd chose him over the murderer Barabbas. So we had no choice. At least, that's what I'll be telling myself to salve my conscience. His body has been taken from Golgotha to a tomb in a hillside, where his body will be laid to rest. Gordon, Peregrine, you're on stone rolling duty. Pascal, Enrique, you take the first guard watch. The governor expects trouble from his followers, stealing the body, that sort of thing, but we don't want that. The rest of you, go home. Dismissed. Okay, settle down. Shut it! Thank you. Now, I know there's several theories as to what happened. Someone stole the body. His body was never there in the first place. Jesus never existed. It was all a dream. He really is the Messiah and has beaten death to save us all from eternal damnation through belief in him, and so on and so on. But we're here to deal in facts and these are they. On Friday evening his dead body was wrapped, perfumed and placed in the tomb. Several witnesses corroborated this. Then, a few days later, the guards find the stone rolled away and the tomb empty. We have several witnesses, all women, who went to embalm the body, who all say that a man dressed in dazzling white told them that Jesus had in fact risen and was heading to Galilee. Now, we've contacted Galilee PD, but they're overwhelmed with Jesus' followers and haven't got back to us yet. We do, however, have statements from a guy called Cleopas and several of those in his inner circle that someone resembling Christ has appeared to and spoken with them, which can lead us to only one conclusion: that Jesus has risen and is alive today. Dismissed.